That's all I know.
Miss Mary, do you want to take our invocation?
Do
you want to do the invocation for us? Okay, so it's 6 p.m. on March 27th, 2025. We're going to call this workshop meeting to order. This is a open workshop meeting. So we're going to start with invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Okay, let us pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this gathering this evening of the City Council and some of the committees within our city of West Tawakoni. We pray that you will be with us in making great decisions for the city and for our citizens, and that we will all strive to work very closely together so that your will be done amongst this community. Thank you so much for the many blessings you've already given us here, and we just pray your blessing to be upon this meeting and all of our future endeavors. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Any announcements?
Yeah, we want to remind everybody of the Easter egg hunt on April 19th. Fire department is still taking donation for candy and candied eggs, or candy and eggs. And then also, we have recently joined up with Script, Meals on Wheels, and we will be having a monthly event at the fire department for seniors 60 and older. You can get a hold of us. We can get a ride share to get you down there. It'll be bingo and a meal. Looks like they have the first one set for, but it's the third Wednesday of every month from 10 to 1.
Cool.
Chris, I'd like to also mention that they will stuff the eggs on April 15th at the Chamber building at 10 o'clock. So if anybody knows somebody who would like to come to the Chamber and help stuff the eggs, they would welcome the help.
Usually we do somewhere between 8 and 10,000, and as of last count, I don't think we're right at 2,000. So we need that candy and the eggs.
Well, and you know, in our last meeting, we brought up the Easter egg hunt, and it can't be stressed enough how important it is if somebody wants their little one to hunt eggs, to be there and be at the start line, ready to take off running at 12 o'clock, because it's probably going to be about 12:03 and it's over.
And it's over. It takes us about 2 hours to get it ready out there, and it's over with in minutes.
Yeah.
Harry, did you say that was April 15th at 10
April
a.m.?
15th at 10 a.m. at the Chamber office.
Okay, I'll get that on the Indian Oaks website
Yes.
too.
Is there any other announcements? City folks ain't got nothing? No? We got
Cleanup are always 8 to noon or till the dumpster.
26th, right? So April 26th, Key West Tawakoni Beautiful will be doing the cleanup at the dumpsters
and it's
from 8 to noon.
8 to noon or until they're full, and we've had that happen. I think at just barely after 9 o'clock.
Oh yeah, I've been up there a few times.
Which is, I mean, that's fine. That's great. I mean, there was a lot of trash that was gotten thrown away. So, okay. If nobody else has any more announcements, we'll move along to citizens input. I didn't have anything besides this email. I'm going to consider this email as something that we will discuss during the workshop from Caleb Gilbert. So we'll keep moving and go right into the workshop. So boards and commissions update. I think the boards and commissions, only people we have here right now, going to be you guys representing Keep West Tawakoni beautiful. We got you here, and you're going to be representing planning and zoning, and then Shannon, I guess. So unfortunately, I did have a conversation with Mary, and there were quite a few people that couldn't get here. Caleb Gilbert did send an email in with some questions. So, I guess.
So we want to kind of put out to what the understanding is, and why we're doing what this is about.
Yeah, and that's what Mary was discussing with me earlier. That, it's a workshop, so, and I think we all talked about when we scheduled this, that this workshop would probably be our planning workshop or our construction of how we want to lay this out moving forward, and then the next one that we have will have kind of some viewpoints or set points in which we want to attack. But I think the idea behind it is trying to get our boards and commissions here to get everybody's input to kind of make this, I guess, list, if you will, that we would try to, I feel like in order for us to be productive, we need to have something that we set as our baseline, and we kind of stick to that, and we keep coming back to that every time we do a workshop, however often we end up doing these. We talked about once a month, we've talked about once a quarter. I don't think that's been completely hammered out yet, but to your point, we kind of need to figure out what our focus is, so we're not just here to talk in fellowship, which is great, but I don't know if that's the most productive thing for us to do when we're doing it like this and recording it, and we got city folks here too, and so anyway.
You and I had a brief discussion about seeing if once we got this flowing, if it wouldn't be something that could go on the council agenda instead of having an additional meeting every month.
Right, and we did, depending on what comes of it, right? But instead of trying to figure this out behind the scenes, and you talk to somebody from this board, you talk to somebody from that board, so on and so forth. Having this meeting, we can kind of get input from everybody. I really wished, we had more people at the last meeting, and we've had quite a few more at our council meetings than tonight. So I appreciate y'all being here. I was hoping we'd have more show up and we can get more input. So, we may not be able to get where we need to be tonight, and if not, then we'll try to schedule another one and see what we can do. The whole idea was to try to create something for us to, I guess, hold as our benchmark or our goals, right? And kind of keep that moving forward. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I have a question, being new to this group of everybody. Are we kind of like checking the website every day to see what meetings are coming up? Because I didn't know this was happening tonight, and there may be a lot of other people that didn't know that. Because I don't know if this is like a regular scheduled meeting or what goes on with these workshops. That's what.
No, this was scheduled in our council meeting a month ago.
Okay.
And talked about.
So this is one that when we started setting you guys on planning and zoning, I told you all would be here. And the one that we had 2 days ago, we actually set with you guys here when the council set you for planning and zoning. Like it was something I turned around and made sure everybody could be here at 6 o'clock for that meeting, and everybody said yes when we scheduled it.
Okay.
But you and Caleb were the only two that showed up.
Right. I just wonder if there was anybody else that was paying attention or.
And that very, very much so may be.
I don't know it's coming, or I don't know. It just doesn't feel like it's being announced where we know where we're supposed to be. And I'm just learning, so.
Yeah. Well, I think it was put on the website, right? It was put on our Facebook, I think.
It wasn't put on Facebook.
It wasn't put
but
on
it was put the
Facebook.
website.
So maybe we need to do better, and we can put all these things like this on our city. Our city Facebook should be getting our council meetings and any kind of meetings like this or other happenings that's news that needs to go out to the citizens within our Facebook page, because it'll get shared too. So it'll get out there in masses. As soon as it gets on Facebook, it's going to get shared to other locations. And we can do better with that. But
email, or
Yeah.
like a mass email or something.
but to who?
Everybody that's on the councils,
The committee,
the committees.
The committees?
Yeah.
every person or every chair.
I did chair along with council.
Yeah.
And I should have done it Monday when I sent the agenda, but and guidance as to who it should go to would be helpful. Because if I need to send it to everybody, we all have to be mindful of forums and things anyway, so I have to watch how we email it, but.
Yeah, that is the dangerous part of it,
Yes.
because if you've got 2 or 3 council members involved in another group, and I mean, that can get, you would have to articulate through that, and I mean, if I'm being honest, I would hate to just have to create another task that is a meticulous task. I mean, I personally, I just don't see, I mean, you know.
Say something.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I got the email yesterday from Mary,
Mhm.
but it sounded like it was directed just to me. Now, had I known the rest of my committee could come, they would be here, I feel certain, or at least some of them would be able to be here. Dwayne is here, bless his heart, because we just came from work at Sulphur Springs. But I feel like our other committees, some of them would have been here if they knew they were invited.
Right.
But I just thought it was just for me.
Well, everybody gets the same email, right?
I only send it to the chairs and council.
Okay.
I didn't send it to everybody.
I got
I don't have everybody's email. That's gonna be
Yes.
that task is when you get everybody.
And that's the thing coming out of this, is we can set the plan. I mean, technically, the chairs should take it back to their group and
Yeah.
then bring back.
I would have been happy to have done that, forwarded on to mine.
Which if we set a date tonight, I'll send out a deal for P&D and I'll send out a deal for building standards.
Thank you.
William, break it.
I mean, it can be done. I think that's part of the hope for this meeting is to kind of come up with a structure, idea, plan, and then the next one will be.
Well, and obviously since, okay, I mean, if we didn't get on our Facebook page, I promise you it would have gotten out in masses, because unfortunately, whether any of us like it or not, Facebook is very popular to everyone. So that would have probably gotten it out more. Even if somebody that doesn't have Facebook, somebody that does have Facebook would have told them about it.
Yeah.
That's how it works, right? I've got a sister that doesn't have Facebook, but she knows everything that's on Facebook because everybody tells her, because she tells me. So, I mean, I'm telling you, I've seen it happen firsthand, and like pretty much every day. So, if my sister's watching, she'll call me here in a little while and say, "Why are you talking about me in y'all's council meetings?" But, and that was why we brought the Facebook page back, because it's something that a lot of people use, you know, and it's a free, powerful advertisement tool or
So since we're on that topic,
information sharing, whatever you want to call it.
Since we're on that, do we want to go ahead and kind of decide how we want to notify it? Do we want to email
Yeah,
it?
no, I think we need to.
Facebook?
I think we need to do that. I feel like that it should be more than sufficient if we email every chairperson,
Okay.
right? Every head chairperson of every committee. We do need to put it on our website, just like always of every meeting we have. But we also need to put it on our Facebook page, just like every meeting that we have. I mean, that was the whole reason of bringing that Facebook page back, was to kind of have a mirror, because, you know, we kept getting ridiculed and told, well, I don't look at the Facebook page, or y'all's Facebook page is blah or whatever. So we brought the Facebook page back. So we definitely want to utilize that. And again, like I said, I believe sending it to each head chairperson of every committee, and then probably the most crucial thing would to be get it out sooner than later, just like everything, right? I mean, communication is key, and if we get it out sooner than later, that's going to help. So, I mean, what do y'all think?
I agree.
So, all right. So we've got that part figured out.
So now
So what are we going to talk about?
the whole goal and the thoughts behind this meeting. Can we go into that?
Yep. Go ahead.
So the whole goal and the thoughts behind all this was, between all the different boards and commissions, everybody's working on different things around the city. Every one of them have roadblocks or obstacles that are stopping them from getting things done. If we can bring this group together and kind of talk through those obstacles and see who within the group can help get those obstacles taken care of, or just a way that we can help each other, making sure we're all working on the same things or helping towards the same things. The big one that came to mind that had me bring this in the beginning was our signs for the city that have been going on for months and months and months that we still don't have. If we all know what those roadblocks are and we can assign somebody to tackle those roadblocks and help push that along, then that's the idea of this. And I'm sure there's many
They're
others.
being pushed, but we're waiting on
Yeah, we're waiting.
the powers that hold the land.
And it might be as simple as making sure everybody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, we approved money for it and we haven't gotten it. You know, making sure everybody understands what's going on and that it is still being worked on and just things like that.
Well, I mean, the city can't work on it any further. We're waiting on SRA. And I mean,
So
that's,
SRA had big wigs coming in this week to look at the property, and they were supposed to be getting with me to let me know a final decision on the sign.
Did they come, Shannon?
I have not heard yet. And since Jason didn't know exactly what day they were coming, I don't have a day yet. I just know they were supposed to be here this week.
That's on the east side, right? What about the
That's
other
over here.
side?
This side over here, TxDOT told us no, so they were looking into some
Don't have to be on
alternatives.
private property.
So we had discussed the private property. Did anybody follow that any further, or?
We're working on that.
so then I think that one of our items needs to be the signs for Keep West Walking Beautiful on this task list, whatever we want to call that. I don't know what we're going to call that, guys. I mean, somebody else kind of chime in on that.
Action items from the workshop.
Sure.
Well, if you don't mind, let me go first. I don't know about you, but I would like to go first. Because I've given all of you, I'm Mary Hall for anybody that doesn't know me. I've given everybody a Keep West Walking Beautiful activities for 2025. It's a list of 12 things. There's a lot involved in these 12 items. And we've been doing the same things and we've added some different things, especially the Christmas decorating contest. But I just want to point out some things to you about our committee. Our committee needs city support, and we need a liaison from the City Public Works or the code officer to come to our meetings. Since 2019, we have had no city employee act as our liaison with the City Council, Public Works, or the mayor. Mike Stafford was very helpful to us until his departure. And since then, Shannon has been coming to the meetings, and she's been as well very helpful to us. We need verification from SRA on that lease agreement to place the sign number 1 that's been finished for over 2 months. It's sitting over there at Holt's Custom Stoneworks. It's ready to go. All he needs is us to tell him, bring it. We'll go out there. He's going to have to put some more rock down for the bed, for the placement of it, because it's blown away some. But that sign has been ready. The other sign has been, it's not finished. It has been started. That's the sign number 2, we call it. And it's going to be down on, hopefully, at Camp Caddo subdivision entrance. We're looking for private property on those 2 properties on the south side of 276. They've been paid for. The signs have been paid for with funding from our committee, Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful, and the West Tawakoni EDC. This project has been in progress since 11 years when Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful joined Keep Texas Beautiful. We pay our own dues to the state with no assistance from the city. The first year, Calvin Travers was mayor, which is how this all got started. He paid the dues. Back then, they were $100. Now they're $200. So we pay our own dues to the state. Without EDC's donation, we would have only had enough money in our account to do 1 sign. And that's with Holt's Custom Stoneworks. And we certainly appreciate EDC's donation to us for that money so that we could do 2 signs. And he's actually done the back of the big sign, the number 1 sign. And it says, y'all come back. It's got our logo on it. It has the EDC logo on it. It's beautiful. It is a beautiful sign. And if anybody wants to go look at it, Holt Custom Stoneworks is on 19 in Emory, and it's sitting out there for everybody to see. It's turned around backwards, but it is not covered and it is sitting out there. We've set the dates for April 26th and June 7th for the community-wide cleanups at the wastewater treatment plant on Rabbit Cove Road, and need those dates reserved. Shannon's already told me that she has April 26th already in the books, that we'll have that date. That'll be from 8 to noon or till when the dumpsters are full. And we need a city employee to open the gates and to man the backhoe to push the stuff down into the dumpsters so we can make more room. And number 6 on my list here is that we sponsored Adopt a Highway, and it goes from Dollar General over here to the blinking yellow light on Highway 276. Our spring cleanup along 276 will be May 3rd, and that again is going to be from 8 to noon. And we welcome continued support of the community and the West Tawakoni Police Department as we pick up trash along our 2 miles of 276. And we certainly thank our Chief Alderson for his protection the last 2 years along this dangerous stretch of highway, because it is very dangerous to be out there. We have given Mary an application for Lisa Maxwell to join our committee. We comprise 7 people on our committee, and we voted in her application last week at our meeting, and so she has the application to be put on the City Council agenda. And we may have another opening coming soon. We've had one person that has not been able to attend meetings in quite some time, but we are limited to 7, but we encourage everybody that would join us at our monthly meetings and our annual and monthly activities. And I'll be happy to answer any questions anybody has about our activities for 2025.
So is it on the same yard as the Camp Cato sign or across the highway?
Across the highway, yes. Coming this way from Quinlan.
That's
Yes.
the one we're trying to get approval on, where TxDOT said no, so we gotta go further in onto private property.
Do we know who owns that property?
We do.
Did we talk to them?
We have been by their house twice and can't catch them at home. So we'll try again to catch them at home. We want to personally go with our shirts on,
Sure.
tell them who we are,
Not,
and show them a picture of the sign.
yeah, not,
But this sign is not made yet. This number 2 sign that'll go down here is not, it's in production, but it's not made. But I have a picture of it that from the rendition that he gave us months ago, a year ago or whatever.
So I believe they're on our water.
That's what I
So
just
they
said.
are.
So we should be able to contact them through the city. They should be on our water.
His name is David Turner.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
sorry?
he is on the water.
David Turner.
David Turner?
Yeah, he is for sure.
We would love to take a little corner of his little piece right there.
Are we going to try to reach out to him? Okay. And I don't mind doing it either if you want me to.
Does anybody else have any questions? Or?
I do, kind of a different question. You got room for another activity on there?
Sure.
In our comprehensive plan, they had identified several houses in need of repair.
Yes.
And there's a USD home repair, USDA section 504 home repair program, where the homeowners, if they live in the house, they meet a certain income requirement, so on and so forth, they can apply directly for grants.
That's true.
And it seemed to me that that would be a logical thing for Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful, to promote it, reach out to those people, and maybe help them with the application process. The city's not involved in the application or the administration of the funds.
Well, there's an organization up in, I believe it's Sherman, it's TCOG, TCOG. Anyway, because I volunteer at the food bank, I'm aware of TCOG. They do all of this area of North Texas, replace windows, help people with doors, anything that would help their home be more energy efficient, fix roofs. They do lots of things. But again, like you say, it's an application process. We personally do not have the time to do it.
Right.
Because we don't know where these structures are. We do a drive around when we do our yard of the month, but we're looking for pretty yards. We're not looking for derelict buildings
Yeah.
and that thing. But anyway, but I am aware that there are organizations that will help people with that kind
Okay.
of thing.
Yeah, because
Buildings committee.
Huh?
The buildings committee they just created.
TCOG.
Yeah.
It's called-
Because we'll actually, if we get their field notes, we'll know exactly which structures.
Yeah, I mean, that would be something
Yeah.
for the buildings
I know
committee.
most of them anyway.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
And Ramsey, and that map right there shows a pretty good idea of the structures that are in certain conditions.
This map over here?
Okay.
yes,
Oh.
ma'am. Yes. And that will be in our comprehensive study. Our comprehensive plan, I'm sorry.
Well, right now, we only have really 6 active members on our committee, so that would really be hard for us to accomplish something like that, especially helping people with application
Yeah.
process. But, you know, we can help any other committee or whatever we can. We're welcome to do that. And we're
I
happy
think,
to do that for anybody else.
if I remember correctly, and I'm trying to remember, there was a program that came in here. I don't know if it's called that, but
Home program?
yeah, it
Yes,
was
the home program,
the home program. It's sort of the same thing.
sort of
Now, I
the
don't know if this one has near the criteria.
This is where they build a whole new house
Right.
for somebody.
Yeah, but the criteria is
Very strict.
very, very, very.
There's a
Like
couple
you
of
have
them here.
to
if you
not
see
A lot of
rent
them-
out the entire year, and
But-
most people
Yes.
can't afford
Are
it.
these
for
actually
that.
applications that can be filled out and mailed in, or is this gotta be done online?
I'll have to
So if it's
get back with you on
actual
that, 'cause I don't know.
applications that could be filled out,
Mhm.
then fire department's holding an event, there's nothing that's stopping us from help pushing and somebody sitting there with them with the application. It's just online for a lot of our people isn't
Yeah, don't
the
have
right
it.
option.
Yeah.
But if there are actually applications that can be filled out
There
for
is
either
a
one of
paper
those,
application.
Okay.
You'll get it to
I'll
me?
find out whether that's on
But we can-
paper or
we're
whether
sitting
we
there
can do it
with the
online.
Fire department, I can
Yes.
sit there and help them with an online
Exactly.
application. So,
so if you can help me figure that out, get that to me, then
Okay.
we can at least start getting some of our citizens that are in need of that, working on those applications.
Yeah. Okay.
Mary, I have one more question.
Sure,
You mentioned having, that Mike Stafford was very helpful.
he was.
So since Mike Stafford's departed, or is there some place that we are lacking giving you the help that you need that Mike was filling in, right? So
Well-
Mike was doing X, Y, and Z for you.
Yeah, he was doing what Mike come and let us in, and so he stayed. And he always had input to give us about things the city was working on and that actually go with some of the things we do. And so Shannon now has stepped up and she's letting us in the building and she's sitting there where she is now and she's making good notes and she's giving them to y'all and to Mary and
Yeah, it was kind of
JD.
circumstantial that he ended up being, because I
yeah,
think what had happened is we had a couple times where some committees, for whatever reason, something happened, the door didn't get unlocked and didn't get let in. So I got with Mary and everybody and I said, look, we're gonna have to come up with, everybody's gonna have to take a committee. And everybody will have to own that committee, and I think he was the one that ended up with y'all.
Yes.
So it was kind of circumstantial, but
worked out.
it worked out, right? Everything happens for a reason. That's kind of what I'm
Right.
saying. But, maybe we just need to figure
But
that out.
mainly, we need the support of y'all, the city council, the mayor, city employees, and the public. Because we have a really hard time trying to pull off some of these projects with 5 to 6 people. Luckily, most of us have husbands, and we can drag them along, make them help us. But we really need the support of
Trash
the
cleanup
citizens.
too. Trash cleanup, nobody shows up.
Nobody shows up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we'll be doing that in May. So we take our golf carts, we got coolers with water and snacks and Gatorade and bug spray and
That's the highway.
grabbers.
Right.
That's the Adopt a Highway.
It's a lot of trash.
And Chad and his wife have been really great to come and help the last 2 years that we've done it. So we're supposed to do it twice a year, spring and fall. So this will be our first one, and then we'll have one.
Is that something that we could, we're doing some stuff with the young Marines or the Boy Scouts, or that we're doing stuff that we could get
Remember,
them?
this is on the side of a highway, so we don't necessarily want to be it.
So
Minors
kids,
cannot do
you know,
it. Minors cannot do it, no.
So if we're being honest, I think what the city can do is we have to make sure the information is being seen, right? We have a website, we have a Facebook page. Are we using it to the best of our ability? Probably not. Okay, so I feel like we start there. I mean, the city definitely supports Keep West Walking Beautiful, for sure. Sounds like we need to do a better job.
I agree.
So in our meeting,
And
I'll make a list of things that need to go, like announcements you have that need to be posted, and then the next day, I get with Mary anyway. So I'll get with her and we
Okay,
can,
whatever needs to be posted.
I mean, I know I keep saying it, but I'm telling you, probably 80% of our community is going to see it on Facebook. Whether we all like it or not, I'm telling you, they're going
And
to.
we do have a Facebook
But-
page.
but we-
Keep West Walking
right,
Beautiful does.
But what I'm saying, the more if we put it on ours, y'all put it on yours, somebody may not see
Put it on
y'all.
the chambers, and we put it on and we put it on the West Walking
Right,
page.
somebody
and we put it on
may
the
not
Lake
see
page,
y'all's,
put
but
it on-
again, you just said something just now. So we can make sure the chamber knows, right? The chamber just sent us an email, hey, do y'all have anything that y'all want us to, so we just gotta do better. And communication from y'all to the city, from the city to you guys, we do better, and hopefully it makes it better.
I think you hit the nail on the coffin earlier when you said the missing part is the liaison.
Yes, we have to have a contact with the city. Have to. We can't get this done on our own. And, we have to answer to Keep Texas Beautiful. You wouldn't believe the number of reports I have to send in every year to them. Every time we have a cleanup, I have to count the cars, I have to count the trucks, I have to count the trailers. I mean, this goes on and on and on. For every cleanup, every little event we have, the Adopt a Highway is even more specific. So it's a lot of paperwork involved in our committee as well. So one last thing before I have a seat, let somebody else speak. I gave Mary and JD a copy of a windshield survey that Lorraine, Sue Ellen, and myself took in May of this year. 2024. We drove around the whole city. We drove around the parks. We went to the point. We drove through every neighborhood, went by every business. We just did what they call, and this is again for Keep Texas Beautiful, it's a requirement of ours, to assess the city and what needs to be improved. So if y'all need copies of them, Mary and JD both have it. And the city is very lacking in lots of areas, especially dumpsters, trash cans. Can you help me think of some of the other things? No. Anyway,
You said this was done in May?
no, last fall,
Last fall?
like November maybe.
Okay.
Is that something that we could possibly share on our website?
I don't think so.
No?
No. It's a Keep Texas Beautiful form, so I don't want to share it out there like that.
Okay.
I'd have to have their permission, and
But I was just saying that the actual information gathered so people would know what needs to improve, right? Because some of these things may not be something the city can improve, but it could be something a citizen can.
oh, it is definitely.
Well, all I'm saying is because a citizen may not really think or feel like or realize that what needs to be or should be improved should be improved. But if they see it, they'll be like, oh, crud, I never thought that really, you know.
Wow.
I mean, I don't,
Yeah,
I don't know how
understand
that
what you're
works.
saying.
I mean, I don't know if I'm not saying the sheet, but the data of what was collected, you know, these items were what was seen during our windshield survey, that was required to be done, and these are the items that should be improved per our survey. I mean, it could be generally given or written, but I don't know. I mean,
Yeah,
can't-
when she
Could we
goes,
pull like a
you
summary
can't fix it.
together?
You can't fix it if
That's what
people
he's
don't
trying
know.
to say,
Yeah,
You can't fix it if people don't know it's broke.
sure.
I think we could pull a summary of this information.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I mean, and just share it and
You
say,
wanna do that for our next meeting?
and we could call it a summary of Keep West Walking Beautiful Windshield Survey.
Sure.
Good.
That's fine. Thank y'all so much.
Thank you.
Appreciate you hearing me out.
Mary, can I borrow a copy of your notes or like the activities that you had? I don't have this one, but you had other information. Oh, the one you were reading. on.
No, she's reading the first time.
I'm sorry.
No, you're good. All good.
Okay. Well, that was good. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. My pleasure.
You got anything for us?
Can I say something?
Well, yeah. That's why you're here.
Okay, I don't know these things, y'all gotta inform me. All right, so, like I said, I'm a newbie to the group. I'm excited about everything, because y'all seem like y'all are really working hard on trying to organize things and get things better for the community. And I really want to pass out some kudos to Shannon. This lady is working all the time, and she's involved in so much stuff, and she listens. I mean, she's already stepped up this, and not, like I said, I just got on this committee. And she's already stepped up and sent stuff to me that I had requested, and I'm like, I feel so much more informed, so I want to say thank you.
The liaison thing, I mean, do we want to put a little more hyper focus on that for Keep West Walking Beautiful? And I mean, are we going to have that on our next meeting? I mean, I think that's something that we kind of need to.
Does it make sense for each group that if Keep West Walking Beautiful feels that they need that liaison, I would guess that the other groups would also feel strongly about needing a liaison.
Well, the other groups already have it. Mary's on EDC, planning and zoning and building standards are mine.
So it's kind of already built in.
Done.
Yeah,
Pretty much already doing it.
those are, but is Keep West Walking Beautiful going to be something you're still going to continue to do? I mean, let's be honest, is that an overloaded thing?
That's a lot.
I mean,
Shane.
right.
Public Works we can do that.
So,
It sounds like that's kind of what you were
I mean,
wanting.
they kind of go hand in hand anyway, right?
yeah.
We think that's a great idea, JB.
So in my mind, that liaison gets the stuff to the city, but it has to also get that stuff to the city council.
Could we also use this structure of the meeting to do that as well?
Sorry, we were
Yes.
sharing tax money.
I mean, using this meeting, so they have their meetings, and then they bring it to the city does what they can do, and then bring that as a summary to this setting.
That's perfect,
And
because
or
if there's a
that's-
real issue in there, then it gets brought up, and that's the whole goal behind this, is to try to get
Everybody on the same.
everybody on the same page, and anything that's holding.
Well, now, I would say issue, I think we would need to make sure
Non-emergent issue.
yeah, because some of those may need to go to council to get a decision made so it can be taken care of. If it's something that takes a decision, does that make sense?
Yes.
I would hate to just pile something in a can and, keep festering until it gets brought to a workshop just to be generally talked about with no decision made.
Yep.
Right, because we're not really making a whole lot of decisions here. We're not voting on anything, making any decisions, which I guess we kind of sort of made one, but,
It was already in place.
whatever. It was.
And, I mean, even then, the three of us work hand in hand very closely on a daily
Right,
basis.
and
We're
so,
gonna know, which means y'all are gonna know.
so I just want to make sure that we don't just, anything that comes from that, if it needs to have a pressing
It needs to
decision,
be on.
yeah, it needs to be on the agenda for a council meeting to vote on it and get it taken care of.
Yes.
Would be my thoughts. Okay. Okay, well, back to you. No. Well, I mean, the room's not real full, so I mean, we're trying to bounce back and forth. I'm just kidding. I'm just picking on you.
I did have a message from Donna for EDC, and she told me she wasn't here. She did want to mention, she said the only news is that Pastor Mullins wants to go to the EDC building and rent it for his food pantry. He would have freezers and refrigerator once a month. It would come by for food. He will present at the next EDC meeting. I know there's going to be a few procedural things to go with that, but she just wanted me to let everybody know that's kind of the latest EDC update.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay.
All I got for EDC.
So you want to do Caleb's?
Yep.
Okay, so he's asking about the process for plats, plans, zoning, etc. prior to being placed on P&Z. So this is something that, since I have a P&Z who is asking a lot more questions, the replat that I have coming up, they got about 2 weeks early, which normally we don't even have it that soon. And one thing I think we're going to start doing is, instead of being 30 days prior to the hearing date, we're going to start requiring 60. So that gives them 30 days to already be reviewing, plus the additional 30 that I need for publication purposes before the public hearing. So we'll require everybody to have everything 60 days prior to public hearing, or if we don't schedule, which will give them more time to review. He also asks if we have a city engineer that looks at these. In the past, we have not. That's something Public Works has done with infrastructure. We are now using Bureau Veritas and Jacob and Martin for both ends. So the plan is Jacob and Martin will review the infrastructure plans. Bureau Veritas will do the inspection process. However, if Jacob and Martin were not to be able to get to the infrastructure plans, then Bureau would be our backup on that. They want to know if city staff and council members review this, fire department specifically. So generally, the three of us are in a meeting, the mayor's in the meeting, pro tem. Generally, we're trying to include both of those. That's been kind of the normal standard.
Standard, I guess.
If anyone else on council wants to be involved in those meetings, we can do that. We just have to set them out a little further so that we can post possible quorum notices. And I mean, I can call and ask y'all. That's however y'all want to handle that. It's generally a during the day thing. As far as looking at plans, kind of setting up, this is where we start. We generally sit down in a meeting, have the developers come sit with us. We start from scratch. Here's what our infrastructure looks like. This is what y'all want to do. Here's what you're at least going to need. These are your plans. Then they come back and they generally start bringing us stuff from there. I can involve anybody that wants to be involved in it. I just need to know so that we can, again, set up quorum notices.
I'd like to be in it, once in a while at least.
It definitely helps if we can get people in it, because it's not just 3 or 4 of us trying to tell them, hey, this is what we need. Kind of like our last project where we worked with them for a good year and a half.
Okay.
We don't currently have a 30-day waiver. I'll look into that and find out if we need one of those.
I think a lot of it with P&Z is just setting up new structure and
It
processes.
is.
But once those get set and figured out, then we'll kind of move forward.
So I mean, really and truly, to answer the question of what's the process is there's usually a meeting with city administration and some council and mayor. I mean, so yes, there is a process. That is the process. So we kind of vet that. And I mean, there's been times that there was 3 of those meetings before P&Z ever got it. And that may have taken a year.
Like
Justin Scribner's project. I mean, we talked about that for a year, right? Had him here many times before P&Z ever even had or hair of it. So, yeah, I mean, that has been happening behind the scenes, and I think that maybe that's taken for granted. And I don't know, maybe I'll sound like a farm animal saying this, but I mean, is it really needed that all the behind the scenes stuff has to be told? Because I mean, how much work do people expect people to have to do? Tell you about every time I go to the restroom? I mean, that's just me. I'm kind of a shrewd and crude person. I mean, obviously there's work being done behind the scenes, right? There has to be. And if we're going to have to expel or display all of that work done behind the scenes, then obviously at some point we're all going to have to expect that there's going to be less productivity. Because if you're having to tell everything that you do, you've already done it, now you got to tell it, so now you've done it twice. I mean, we need to think about where we're going there, right? I'm putting that out there because, yes, we do it, but if we keep doing this and if we do stuff like this in workshops and we just keep digging deeper and deeper and deeper and saying, okay, well, how many times you turn the lights on and off every day during the day, then we're creating tasks. And I just hope that we don't get to that point where we're doing that with this, because it could do it really quick and easy.
Sure.
Before we get too far in the weeds, we have something down for Keep West Tawakoni Beautiful that we will have in our next meeting, correct? As far as talking about their projects and make sure that we can give them an update of what our process is of how we're going to make sure that we're streamlining and putting out their information and our communication back and forth to them and all the other committees. So that's kind of a twofer. It's not just you guys, it's all the committees plus the thing for y'all to make sure we're trying to communicate with y'all, get your information of when y'all are having events or whatever, and we'll help try to promote that and put it out through the city's website and Facebook. So that's going to be, we'll make sure that we have that as a feedback item for the next time we do this.
Yeah.
We can say, okay, this has been going like this, and y'all can tell us, yeah, we've had 2 events since or 2 happenings since, and the city was, good at getting it up on the website and Facebook, and I mean, I don't know, maybe we need to post it out front. I know that,
We might need a bigger bulletin board out front.
Yeah, I think so too.
well, yeah, we might.
We might
Now,
need to look at
I do know that, I know that, Chief was talking
I was just
to,
about to say that.
I know that Chief was talking to, Jason Henderson, and Jason Henderson, I think, is building a frame.
For the rolling sign at the
Yeah,
front.
he's building a frame. I mean, he's just doing it to help, to mount these signs that Chief got. I think got them off Amazon or somewhere. But they're pretty cool. I mean, you can program messages in them. But the idea is Chief bought, the city bought them, but it was 3 of them, right, Mary?
Yes.
There was 3 of them. I think if you buy 3, it was a way better deal.
Yeah, you got a deal.
So the idea was, I wanted to put here at City Hall to let people know we're open at this time, closed at this time, and maybe little messages like when it was firework time, they put on there, please remember you can't pop fireworks in city limits. But put 2 of them down there at the park underneath. We paid for a sign years ago and got.
Yeah, the idea was to have them front and back.
Yeah, we paid for a sign years ago and got scandaled. So the frame that he's building will hold both of those signs. So one would face east, one would face west. They're not huge, but
They're decent.
It will
I
be-
you can see them one drive.
but they're bright.
They're
They're
very bright.
LED, and like you said, they're changeable. You can change
Yeah.
it.
So I mean, it's a start, right? So it's a start, and maybe could put some stuff on those things and try to be a little bit better about sharing this information. So maybe that needs to be on our to-dos to make sure those signs get put up.
Yeah.
We've had them for a minute now. Maybe that needs to be on our next one. Hey, did the signs get put up at the city park? If they did, we knock it off the list. But we need to put it on our next workshop.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what this is for, right?
That's what it's
we're
for.
talking about doing this for. Okay. Does anybody else have anything else we need to put on this for the next one?
That
Was your grant stuff something you were pretty passionate about that, but I think you said you want to look to see how that works.
Yeah, I need to look and see if we can do that online, or if it's on,
There you
if it's
go.
on paper. I think that one's really simple.
The housing grants, whether or not they're online or on paper, and Ramsey would give us what he finds on that on our next in our next meeting, right?
grant update.
And then how do we get the information, once we know whether it's online or on paper, how do we get that information to the people that would benefit from it the most and get them to come to the place that we can give them the help that they need to get the grant, right? Because we can't go fill it out for them. So how do we get that information to the people that are in the places that need the help the most?
Yeah,
I mean, I
and
feel like the most resourceful way of doing that would be social media in general.
I think you're gonna put it on social media, but we're looking for people that are pretty low income. And so there may not be internet service in that house, and there may not be social media in there.
That one's kind of, yeah, we're kind of talking about.
My thoughts with it were, if we can get that data, fire department touches these houses every day, the ones that we're talking about.
Mhm.
So,
Well, I was gonna say fire, police,
Yep.
code enforcement.
So we produce
I mean,
like a
because
flyer or something?
with code enforcement, when you're seeing these things and you're having to write some of these things up, and you can say, hey, look, there's a program, right? Here's what's going on, and I mean, it can be part of the leniency, right? I mean, sometimes you do that just out of, it's your decision. So it can be part of the leniency, and you can say, look, there's a program, and if you would look into this program, and by the way, if you need help with maybe trying to fill it out, that's what we're talking about over here. Contact the fire department. They will allow you to use their facility. There's other people that will come up and maybe help walk you through it if need be. But I'm going to extend this for 30 days. If you will check into this program, let me know what you come up with. I'm just throwing out, I'm spitballing here.
that's perfect.
Right? But it's, that's how we could get it out there. We could get it out through police. We could get it out through fire. That would probably be the best ways, because I think that's probably a touchy situation. I don't think we could go around and just walk up and say, hey, we think your house looks bad. You need to sign up for this. I'm not going to be on that volunteer. I'm not going to be on that volunteer, whatever you want to call that.
I run an HOA, and I can tell you how that is not fun.
So I'm not going knocking doors with y'all to tell people that they need to sign up for this.
But I think that's a really good idea if we take the code enforcement piece and then we build a opportunity to not pay a fine, but to apply for a grant,
right,
and get that.
And I'm saying
they make the steps necessary to get that going in the right direction. Then maybe some of the code enforcement can be less strict.
Right. Well, and I'm saying that only as one option of trying to get this out, because you hit more of the target with a shotgun than you do with a BB gun.
Sure.
So, I mean, that's why I was saying police, fire, code enforcement. I think those are going to be the ways that we could cast this out into the city without it being like a, what do you call it? Profiling?
Yep.
I guess. I don't know.
Could I ask
Discrimination.
Well, building and standards might help with that too.
No, I'm just saying, without profiling. I mean, there's things that code enforcement can knock on your door, or whatever you can do to let people know, hey, can't be this way. Police can do the same thing. Fire gets called out to the areas. So I'm sorry, go ahead.
Shannon sends out notices on code violations.
Yes, ma'am.
Cars, high grass, whatever.
Yes, ma'am.
Could there not be something on the bottom of that, like just a little blurb at the bottom that says TCOG or whatever company might be able to assist you with this issue or something like that?
Or other resources are available.
Kind of like the end of every prescription ad on television that says,
Yeah.
if you're unable to pay for your medications,
Yeah,
so and so,
exactly.
contact so and so and we can help. And
I thought you were going to talk about the gambling.
I try not to talk about gambling.
Okay, so I think what you're saying is very good, but there's probably do they still call them flyers or
Yeah.
whatever?
So I'll also check to see if I can find some kind of a handout.
A handout. I think that's the new name for it. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm probably going back a little
I'll see if I can find something.
It's mimeograph.
than today.
Yeah.
I'm just
Smells
saying,
like purple paint.
or also links too.
It's a
right?
rolling
If
thing and it
you're
runs all
communicating
year.
with people electronically,
Yeah.
but these these handouts are informationals. You probably could get this in a PDF form or whatever, and it could just be something that we share with, right? I mean, hey, just so you know, there's these programs that could possibly help you with this situation. And or here's a link, and or here's the handout of it, whatever. And if there are handouts, we probably need to get some of that kind of stuff in our city hall.
And if there's not, I can go through the criteria for qualifying.
And the reason why I say in our city hall is because if we're telling the truth, the people that we were talking about that can't go look these things up online, they're the ones that actually have to come up here and walk up to our window and pay their water bill with cash because they don't have these other forms and ways. So, if there are handouts, and I bet you there are, we probably need to be better at getting that stuff somewhere in our lobby of our city hall for people to see. And I mean, if we have to be thoughtful if we see somebody or if they're saying something or if we know. I mean, because some of the people you may send notices to, you're never able to make human contact with them. It's mail contact, right? It's by mail only. You might talk to them on the phone, but it may be kind of a cool idea that I don't know how we would structure that, but maybe do something to where there's a list of people. Hey, if this person comes in, would you come get me? And then you can try to
within our billing system.
you can try to lead them, say, hey, I know I've been sending you notices, this, that, and the other, but look, take this and read this, and give me a call if you need some help, and then I can start trying to help direct you into a way, and then that's when they land at the fire department, and they've got somebody down there helping them fill these things out. I don't know. Just
Perfect.
customer service.
Yep.
Sure. That's customer
Yep.
service is all that is.
Well, TCOG stands for Texas Council of Governments.
Okay.
And I think it's in Sherman, but it's for the whole North Texas area.
Got it. I'll give them a call or see if they've got a handout.
And I think Chad was gonna, on the next one, he's gonna give us an update on what he's got going on building us a new city hall.
Yeah.
Great. We could use a bigger lobby. That would be helpful.
It doesn't have to be 2 stories.
Put it right
Okay.
next to the water department.
2 stories, okay. Don't have to be 3.
That's where the police station's going.
No.
So what else do we got, guys?
I think we hit it, just making sure we stay on track with it.
Well, and I mean, hopefully our next one we have, I don't know if we want to say when we think we'd like to have that. We'll have more people here. We'll get it out more.
Do we want to kind of identify what to be prepared for? I mean, Mary was great. She had all this information, but I don't think everybody really knew what to expect. What do we want our other organizations to kind of expect or plan for?
To bring to us what they're currently working on, obstacles that are in their way.
Yeah, obstacles and ideas for how we can work like a synergy.
And when I stand up here, am I supposed to say who I am and what?
No, but do use this if you don't mind. You're very soft spoken.
No, just don't roll your top of it, it'll make it on the.
Okay, so will I get, and I think I know the answer to this, but will I get a book that kind of tells me what the zoning rules and everything are? Because you've sent me a couple of sets of prints and,
You're gonna get a whole book on Thursday.
okay. Yeah, because that way,
And then
You know, when I
that
go
whole
look at
book
stuff-
is gonna change in a few months.
yeah, because when I go look at stuff, I'll know why the sizes are, if there's an issue with it or there's not an issue and that sort of thing. So, we're looking at a couple of places that are wanting to be built out. And I don't know if they're okay or I know how to read the prints because that's where I started in this world back in the 80s is doing architectural drawings. But I just need to know what the city rules are because that changes. So I think that will happen. I'll get that with us next
We'll get the
Thursday.
book, yeah, I'm bringing books for everybody on Thursday.
Perfect. Thank you.
Because I got one or two little things.
Get an extra book.
Talk.
I would have to make
So-
an extra book that would be about 4 inches thick.
You know?
No.
PDF?
No, unfortunately not.
Kevin James has some.
I mean, I can make
Things in
one,
his
but
list.
it's 4 inches thick.
What you got, James?
Go for it, dude.
And then you
I'm
can
trying
do
to-
one.
The city welcome packet, you know, I think Jackie was trying to make one, right? Do we have one yet or no?
A welcome packet? No.
Is this something we should think about?
You gonna make it?
I can try, actually.
I mean, I know I'm asking. I mean,
Yeah.
yes. Unfortunately, Jack O'Connell was working on that, and I think she actually had made
She made some decent
she
progress
made
on
some
it.
pretty good progress. But I mean, unfortunately, her situation.
Do you
I know
have,
she
do you
was
have
working
anything?
on, like, she had images, pictures of everybody. She had kind of a little bit of a summary and a breakdown of who we are, what we're known for. She was working on a directory. I think that's about as far as I
Do you
can
have
go.
May I
anything?
suggest the chamber has a brand new directory. And what I did, and actually Sue Ellen is the one that brought them to me, but when we sell a house, either in Horizon Estates or Rustic Oaks over here, I hand the new owner one of those chamber directories. And it has a list of all the chamber members, it has a list of most of the businesses, phone numbers, addresses. It's broken down into categories. It tells about city council meetings, for all the cities around the lake area. So I think what they should do is probably touch base with the chamber and make sure that the new residents coming to get water turned on, get a chamber directory.
I
think
can
that'd be
talk
a great
with
idea.
Tammy or Dina on getting theirs and see if we can kind of piggyback off that idea
Do you have
and do
anything?
something
Do you have anything at all from her?
from who?
From
No.
Jackie? Nothing.
No, I think she had just showed us some stuff at council meetings
Yeah.
and showed. I think she showed Mary and I one day some stuff she had.
Well, if you get the one that the chamber has, maybe you
Kinda
can build off of it
grow
really.
the right-
No, I was, you know, when you have a lot of, what I've seen is when you have a lot of pages, nobody reads. Nobody reads. You
No,
know,
no, no. They're saying build off of it, not
Use some of
copy
their
it. Take it for ideas and use it as a
Make our own.
brainstorm to maybe build us. It's kind of like, so you go buy a car, you don't just go build a car because there's already cars built. So, yeah,
I was thinking,
not reinvent the wheel. Take
Right.
the wheel and make
take
it your own.
what you have, maybe. I'll try to make one single page document.
Yeah, I think that's what she was looking at doing. It was a
Yeah, I think
it was a trifold.
front and back maybe.
Yeah, it was a trifold.
And Chamber has it, is it? Chamber has
They
a
have
list of bill.
directory.
They have their own directory, but
Directory,
they kind of
yeah.
have an idea. It can be a starting point to give us an idea of how one could look without having to go out and search or pay somebody to design it.
Yeah, because they're expensive.
They are not cheap.
I'll give it a try, you know. A trifold, one page for back both sides, right?
More than likely something that's
Hmm?
easy to electronically get to.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that if you think of the one page or just a small document that says, go here for this list of things, here's the chamber list of things, here are the local churches list of things, much easier than trying to put all the information into
I would.
one document, put it into one page, one very small page that you can hand out. And that would also be something that would go in a water bill to
Yes.
everybody. Once we have it built, that we would be able to put into a water bill, because there are probably as many people within the city that do not have that knowledge, that we're giving the knowledge to the newcomers, but we also would not hurt to put it in the water bill once a year for all the people who that rent, didn't set up the water, or all of those types of opportunities.
I'll make one, it's a real simple one, and we can build on it later.
Simple is good.
Right.
What else? No colors, because Ramsey won't be able to see it.
He's always picking on you.
I'm used to it.
So this is something, we're talking about water bills, So ETJ people also pay water bills, right, which at a high rate. Can we give them an option to become part of the city? Is that, no?
So
There are certain restrictions to
they
that.
actually have that option.
Yeah, I mean,
They
yeah,
have to
each
touch-
each individual
Yes.
property owner doesn't have that option.
They have to start with a city that touches the
Yeah,
city,
it's-
or, sorry, a property touching city limits.
Right.
And then they can build from there, but at least one portion of one of those properties touching each other has to touch our city limits.
Yeah.
And they have to make the application. We
Right.
can't go to them, they.
We can't solicit it, we can't, none of that. So it's the property owner's discretion to want to annex into our city.
And that's if they're touching something
Right.
within the city.
Right. But what if they don't have that information? Can we say, you have this option?
No, we can't solicit that.
Okay.
By state law, we cannot solicit that. No, we absolutely cannot solicit that.
Okay.
And I don't remember when that was, because I think it was in the 90s, when cities were disallowed from forceful annexing and going out and lobbying to annex. Can't do it.
But we can't even provide that information?
That would be soliciting. Absolutely not.
But if someone comes to us or comes to the city for a water connection, can we say that you have this option? If you become part of the city,
That would still, we can't promote or solicit, no, sir.
The only way we can discuss annexation with them is if they ask
Right.
us first.
We can answer, if somebody walks in and says, hey, we would like to annex into the city, doors open. But we cannot go out and start or promote those conversations.
okay.
What if someone walked in and said, my next door neighbor's bill is half of what mine is, why is that? And you explain to them that they're not in the city, they are in the city, are not in the city.
Well, yeah, I mean, they can say,
They
well,
can say at that point, if you became a part of the city, then your water bill would be half as much. That's the same
absolutely
thing.
not.
Yes,
No.
that's a really
true. You can
difficult way to
Explain to
answer
them
the
that
question.
this guy's.
You can say
in
theirs is
business
cheaper
and
than
you're
yours
not.
because they live in the
You
city
can't ask
limits
us
and
that.
you do not live in the
And then
city
if they
limits.
think of the next question,
Yeah, the next question is, well, how do I get in the city limits?
Then
Then
they
you
can
can
answer
answer
the
it.
Okay,
Wide open.
got it.
It's a really
it's a
thin line.
tricky.
It's a thin line, I'm telling you. And there's a lot of cities that abused it is the reason why.
Sure.
I have a question for you, Mr. Ria. That SRA grant, you are going to apply for it, right?
I already did.
Oh, you did?
Mm.
Oh, good. Thank you.
You started that the next morning after the council meeting.
He's on it, like that. Thank you.
Does that need to be something that you want an update on our next meeting? To see where we're at, what we've done, what we've heard, or you're just asking the question?
I'm just asking a question.
Okay.
They'll look at it in June meeting, so.
Yeah,
I saw the light
look at it till June.
I'll throw it out there, it's already brought up. I'd like to make sure there's an update in the next meeting. If there's any updates to it.
Oh, okay.
The next they'll look at it is in June though.
Okay.
Well, I was
They
looking
have
at
it on like the June
Yeah.
Update
meeting.
done.
They won't even get approved till June.
I was looking at the calendar, and that's something that we're going to have to look at
Do
anyway.
they meet before or after us in June? Do we know?
Don't know that I saw dates for their meetings. I know I saw months where they're meeting.
I've got to call Jason anyway and ask some questions for our zoning, so
I have
I'll
another
try to
question.
remember to ask him that.
Question. It's SF2. That had been an issue actually. When we looked at the last plan that came in, we had 5-foot space in the back and all that stuff. Can we eliminate? At least talk about eliminating SF2.
So I just had an hour-long, probably plus conversation with Caitlin regarding this.
With who?
Caitlin, the girl doing
Public
that.
management.
So SF2, we have so much property zoned SF2. It will never go in another zoning. It's pre-zoned. most of it does not even meet that minimal square footage already. There's already properties that if someone wanted to build on, the city would have to give them a variance because the city created that hardship. So future zoning, we would not rezone anything to SF2. We would keep what's zoned. We would not rezone anything further. Discussion with her today, we're looking at, and this is preliminary, we are looking at keeping the current SF2 where it is, moving SF3 up to 8,000 square foot minimum
Okay,
size.
so let me just stop you there. I want to make sure we keep our focus on what we're doing here. So this is, I mean, we're not having this meeting for questions and answers type meeting. It's not just a meeting to have a meeting just so we can all get together and talk about whatever we think about in the city. And it was to your point, and I agreed with you, we need to create action items that we're going to stick to. And tonight, since this is our first meeting, to me, the sensible thing would be we would come up with those action items, and then this meeting's sort of over, and those action items are going to come to our next meeting, and we make sure that we touch every one of those action items on our next meeting. So I think what we need to make sure that everybody is given, if they so wish, and you guys gave some, I think you gave something. We put something down for her? No?
Nobody answered your question.
Okay.
Just
We have
the
an
book on
we have an action item for you.
I
So we
have
need,
1, 2,
Chris
3,
just
4,
put
5,
one down for
6.
the SRA grant. So we need to make sure that we have these action items down. So when we come to this next meeting, we have something to focus on, right? I mean, I just,
I agree.
for lack of better words, I don't want, and it's I don't want to say it's a waste of time, but I mean, it could be viewed as such or gibberish, and I think we all need to look somewhat intelligent with what we're doing up here. So we need to make sure we're giving action items tonight for our next meeting. I mean, I just don't want us to end up in conversations, and then next thing you know, everybody's getting home at 9 o'clock, and we walk away from here and we didn't really solve nothing. We just all talked all night.
And I have a question while we're on it. Do we want this to be strictly just the outside boards and commissions, or are we wanting all departments involved? Because I don't want it to get kind of messy in between.
Well, I think when we talked about it, it was the council and boards and commissions.
Okay. That's what I just want to
I mean,
verify.
you know, I think that would be.
I mean, we use our regular council meeting to go over all the
Right, that's what I'm saying. I mean,
that's why I just want to make sure we
if the
weren't having
departments
to-
had, I mean, I don't know what, if we're talking about police department or we're talking about public works department,
Yeah.
if they've got something, they can put it on the agenda for our regular session meetings, because typically, if our departments are needing something, it needs a vote anyway.
Yep.
Correct.
So, I mean, it would be kind of pointless to bring that to a workshop, right?
I wanted to kind of clarify to make sure that we weren't expected as department heads to be bringing.
I agree
Anything
with what he said. If they have something, they should be, and I encourage y'all all the time. I talk to y'all.
Yeah, that's
Y'all
fine.
have issues or concerns, you've gotta get it to council, so.
Yeah,
that's-
'cause
That's y'all's key.
9 times out of 10, it's not just gonna be an informational, it's gonna need a vote, so.
Do we, y'all
So
want me to kind of
things
go
like
over what I
these, we'll
have
bring
as
it to
action
the
items?
council,
Yes.
right?
I think for now, what action items do you have now, so we can?
So, other than adding the Keep West Strong Beautiful applicant to the agenda, that's just kind of a mental note for me. But, getting with David Turner as far as a sign placement, see if we can make some contact with him. Summarizing the windshield survey for the next workshop. Having some feedback as far as communication between all board members. Making sure the LED signs are put up at the park, and if not, for what reason. The home repair, home program grant update, and then the welcome packet and the SRA grant update. But on the SRA grant update, is there really an update to be given until June, right? Okay, so I'm not going to put that one in there. But the welcome packet, do we want that as a action item for the next?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so.
I just want to make sure I have them listed so we can, and I'll shoot that in whenever I tell everybody when our next one is. I'll put those action items in an email so we can all somewhat have an idea, be prepared for.
Mary, can we add one more?
Yes, ma'am?
The old sign that was down there marking the McCreary property for the marina is still laying there. Mike promised us that Public Works would dispose of that pipe and concrete sign, and it's still laying there.
Okay.
And I would like, when SRA comes and takes a look at the site, I would like for it to be gone.
Absolutely.
I'll have it gone tomorrow.
Thank you so much.
That's the way it's supposed to work.
Thank you.
Update will be easy at that point then. Is there anything else anybody can think of while I have it on my paper so I don't lose train of thought, get
I
lost in
think we hit a
distractions?
great one for our first one out.
I want to put one out there for the citizens that we've all had people coming in here. It's a twofer. It's for Public Works. Y'all are the ones that get the most notoriety around here. But so road maintenance. Just an update of what we're doing on road maintenance. And I mean, to me, it's something that would give y'all.
Would that not be something on council though?
Well, no, this is I mean, it may be on council, but what I'm saying is every, and this is not road maintenance from this month or like, you could gather it from a quarter and say, look, this is what we did. It gives you a time to shine.
Yeah.
That makes sense? So road maintenance, and one that you've always struggled with all your crews, and I mean, now that you're in a different place in the crew, is your revisiting of your dig sites. That one was one that was always a heartache for you. So dig sites and road maintenance. Anybody else got anything?
A date for the next one. Next
I was
month.
looking at a calendar a while ago. I mean, guys, what do y'all think quarterly?
I like quarterly myself.
I like quarterly, especially giving us a chance to get it all going, so yes, I like quarterly.
And then are we quarterly at council or quarterly on its own?
I think we have to do on its own for maybe a time or two, and then we see how we can roll it into council. That's my thoughts.
So we're looking June,
I agree with that.
July, March, April,
Make
June,
it
June.
6:30 instead of 6.
June, right? This is the end of this quarter.
Oh, we're gonna go by calendar quarterly, so then April will be the, at the end
Yeah,
of
I mean April would be the end of the quarter. But-
So, but if
So I
we're
mean, I don't
going
know if we want to jump all the way out to the end of the second quarter or what, or do we want to say since we've done this in March, we do it every 3 months?
I like that.
And then what, do we want to put anywhere, I know we don't have the event board or whatever, but could we not have an action item to talk about our future events? Whether it's at the park or the city or anywhere else. That way, it's just to see if anybody else, because if they have an event with Key West Walking Beautiful, or if there's just a general event.
I don't know that would fit into an every 3 month conversation
No,
very
that
well.
needs to be like a
Monthly?
council one,
Yeah,
because.
because heck, 3 months goes by and you could have 3 events before that meeting. I don't know. I think.
Just throwing out ideas.
Yeah, no, I get it, but I'm afraid that in 3 months, I don't know that would help anything or be effective.
What are we looking
So we
for?
want to say June 27th. That'd be 3 months. I mean, that would.
I like that because it's the end of the month, all the boards and commissions have already met. By this time, they would have met.
Oh, well, hold
Yeah,
on.
you can do
26th.
Fridays.
What day is it?
It's on a Thursday. Thursday the 26th.
I'm good with that.
Yeah, not a Friday.
Yeah, Thursday is better.
Okay.
Be right in the middle of margarita time.
June 26th, what time? Chad mentioned 6:30.
6:30.
6:30?
6:30 is good.
You like 6:30?
Okay, hold on. We got one more thing. I would like input because I'm just talking and giving input, but we need to set a time limit on these.
I was fixing to say that.
I mean, to be fair to everybody, right?
I think we should be able to push through this thing in an hour or less.
I think we set a time limit at an hour, right? And it keeps us from getting in the weeds and talking about. I mean, because this is an open discussion meeting, so it's really easy for us to start chasing squirrels. So I mean, let's put it at an hour, and if we don't get it solved, we'll keep it on our list and we'll do it again. Right? But I think we'll get it solved. It's not like we're building a list that's a mile long.
Then once we get further into it, it'll be a lot easier.
So I mean, I would like to see that we put it on that agenda that this meeting is from 6:30 to 7:30.
Okay.
And when we get there, we're adjourning and we'll go home. Okay?
Sounds beautiful.
So we're gonna do it on June 26th at 6:30 to 7:30. You won't be here?
I just realized.
Well, you better have somebody here to
I'll figure it
take
out.
care of stuff.
Hey, will you be here?
No, I'm not gonna.
Okay. Not think Shannon's gonna be here either.
I'm gonna be at home with a migraine.
Okay.
I'll be on vacation.
JD will handle all of it.
Looks like that.
Alright, so we're gonna do a little different tonight than we did Tuesday night. I think get my wrist slapped, but, yeah, so now we're on number 7, so does anybody wanna,
Make a motion, we adjourn.
we got a motion, I got a second?
Second.
We got a second? We got all in favor?
Judge Gobi.
Greg Sprinkle.
Commissioner Kent.
Alright. See, I called myself out. Meeting's over. Meeting's adjourned.
Hey, turn the mics off and JD hit the button.